Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk Movies podcast. My name is Brian Drolet, and of course, right when I begin recording this, there's a car alarm blaring from right outside my window. Isn't that just perfect? Hopefully, you guys aren't hearing it like the way I am. It's very subtle in the distance, but this is a good mic, so I'm not surprised if, as I'm talking, you're just hearing like a ferocious chihuahua trying to get a snack from its owner. Somebody needs to go beep, 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 beep. For all I know, that could be my car getting vandalized right now. I'm like, hey guys, did you see that new rom-com that's currently out in theaters? Meanwhile, somebody's hijacking my Kia. Somebody's getting into my Kia without a Kia. All right, let's begin this episode. So our first tidbit of movie news is the director of the new Fast X movie, Fast X for 10, is saying that the stunts are going to get more practical, more grounded in reality, as opposed to the stunts in F9 that were apparently in outer space. I think I commented when I said, how are they going to, up the ante this time? They've already been driving cars in outer space, which I'm pretty sure is impossible. Well, I guess if you're Elon Musk and it's a Tesla. But how are they going to top that? So I guess they're going to top it by kind of going back to reality a little bit. And who knows, maybe the cars are going to, drive on roads. But we'll see. I can't believe they're up to a Fast 10 movie. But I actually find these movies really entertaining and great to see on a big screen. And as ludicrous as the stunts may get, hey, I'm here for it, okay? I get excited for Transformers movies. I like a big visual spectacle sometimes. Not everything needs to be, the most amazing script. Although I will say I would prefer a good script over great visuals any day. But I'm just saying the spectacle of the Fast and Furious movies has been pretty impressive, the way they've constantly upped the ante. But now they're going to down the ante, and they're going to keep it grounded, quite literally. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do this time and having the stunts be less CGI and more actual stuntman in a car, who knows, maybe driving off a cliff. Okay, in the next news, this has been a topic for quite some time now. I still haven't seen this movie. I don't think it's available to stream yet, and it hasn't been in a theater that I know of near me. But The Whale, Brendan Fraser's star vehicle, return to stardom. People are criticizing him because he wasn't actually obese. I think this is like really getting old when it comes to like movies. Like, actors are supposed to convey the emotions that are going on internally. So if you're an actor, you shouldn't have to be obese. Okay? How many obese leading men are there that like can maybe handle the acting required for such a tough role? And from what I've been told, it's not like he's making fun, the movie's making fun of obesity. They're shining a light on what people that are suffering from obesity go through. So it's like, it's kind of ridiculous to me to be upset and complain. It's like, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the YouTuber Mr. Beast, he recently paid for the surgery for a bunch of people that were blind to be able to see. These people signed up for this, they wanted this, and he turned it into a video showing and everybody was up in arms saying, oh, that's ableist. And so curing people of blindness now is somehow bad. And Brendan Fraser doing an amazing job of depicting a man who's struggling with obesity is somehow not good. I disagree, okay? Bryan Cranston got a bunch of flack for playing a handicapped man in that movie with Kevin Hart. I forget the name of it. But guys, if you get an actor who's as good as Bryan Cranston, I'm sure he can play a guy in a wheelchair, okay? And don't get me wrong, if you can find somebody, but somebody watching a movie, does it really matter to me if the person's actually paralyzed or actually obese? I mean, I don't think Superman can really fly either, okay? I'm suspending disbelief and going on a journey that is make-believe, is fiction, or is a lot of CGI and tricks. Like, I don't get the backlash for things like this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I wrong? Do you think it should only be an obese man playing the whale? And if so, who's an obese actor? And maybe they auditioned actual obese men and their acting chops weren't there. So they got a Hollywood legend. So sue them. Oh wait, I think you might have already been sued. I don't know. But just kind of ridiculous. The producer, Jeremy Dawson, spoke out about that and said, look, we chose somebody that could depict the inner conflict the best. It's not about that, like when somebody's obese, their obesity is just a symptom of whatever it is that's ailing them internally. And that's what an actor's job is, to figure out that internal drama and to depict that sometimes with just thoughts, just the eyes. And so not everybody can do that, okay? So I don't know, guys. I think we can get up in arms about something else. Let's move along, though. So in news, there is a new Magic Mike movie, Magic Mike 3. Mike is still magic. Apparently, this movie has the lowest rating on Rotten Tomato of any other movie in the franchise, which isn't that big of a surprise. It's the third one. You know, every once in a while you'll get a great third movie, but a lot of times, you know, by the third movie we're like, all right, Mike, we get it. You know, it's not so magical anymore, Mikey. But it's got a 47%. I really like Channing Tatum. I think he's a really likable actor. You know, I find him funny. He's good in comedies like 21 Jump Street with Jonah Hill. He's good in more dramatic roles I've seen him in. I think he's just a versatile, likable, underrated actor. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say underrated because he's very popular, but I don't think he gets mentioned a lot. Listen, I'm not saying he's like Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm just saying every time he's in a movie, I tend to like the movie or at the very least like his role. And being a typical straight man, you know, when Magic Mike came out, I'm like, I don't want to see this movie. But then you watch it and you're like, oh, this is actually a good movie and it's funny, and be funny to imagine, you know, as a guy being in that world, you know, stripping for women and having them go nuts. And kudos to him. This was based on his real life, and he turned it into a mega franchise. There's a dance show and a reality show on HBO, guys competing to be Magic Mike in real life in Vegas. So the movie has spawned other entities, and, you know, good for Channing Tatum. And Magic Mike 3 is out now. It actually won the box office this weekend over Avatar. Finally, I guess the jury's in on Avatar 2. Never doubt James Cameron. That movie's still, the fact that it's still number 2 after months of being out, very impressive. But Magic Mike 3 is out. Lowest scores of the franchise, but it's got Salma Hayek, and I love Salma Hayek. Still remember that scene in From Dusk Till Dawn, where she comes out with the snake, and classic scene. So if you like Salma Hayek, if you like Channing Tatum, Magic Mike 3, out now, 47%. 1 out of every 2 of you will like it. Okay, so in more Fast X news, Jason Momoa in this upcoming one is actually going to be the villain. He's very excited about playing the bad guy, he says. You know, he's been the good guy, he's been Aquaman. Now, he gets to play a guy who's sadistic, androgynous, which I think means kind of looks like a girl or a guy. It's kind of ambiguous, or maybe I'm just confusing the word androgynous with ambiguous. I'm not really sure. But he's androgynous, all right? And he's sadistic, he's the bad guy. I think he's like licking a knife. And, you know, girls are loving it. They're like, stab me, Jason Momoa, stab me, which is kind of weird because why are girls so into serial killers and villains? I don't know. But, hey, Jason Momoa, he's one good-looking villain. But he finally gets to play the bad guy, and he's very excited about it. So, M Night Shyamalan, he's got his new thriller out, Knock at the Cabin, and he's recently been criticized for just always having a twist ending. Like, that's just his thing, and oh, how dare he have a twist ending. People, if you don't like it, don't watch it. I happen to love M. Night Shyamalan's movies for those twist endings. I'm always curious to see, like, what's going to be the twist this time. I like A lot of his movies that other people haven't liked, like I liked The Village, I liked Old, and I'm really looking forward to watching this one. I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's kind of ridiculous. You know, it'd be like, oh, Stephen King, you always have to make things scary. It's like, oh, Michael Jordan, you always have to dunk the basketball. It's like, it's what these people do, okay? M Night Shyamalan, he twists the endings, all right? He twists them. That's what you're getting when you go to his movies. I think that's why people like to watch his movies. And, you know, if you don't like it, he recently addressed this. He said, look, my job as an artist is to keep you guessing, is to keep you on your toes. And I happen to like twist endings. And, you know, if I listen to the critics, and if any artist listening to the critics, we wouldn't have very interesting art. Everybody's going to always have an opinion and have something to say. But I think criticizing M. Night Shyamalan for his twist endings would be like telling Apple, like, I don't know, like, why do you keep making so many phones and computers? It's like, it's what they do. And that alarm is still blaring. Can somebody boop, 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 boop already? Really hope this isn't killing the audio of this podcast. I really wish somebody would boop, 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 boop. We need somebody to boop, 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 boop. I'm going to forge on, guys. I'm going to forge on. Hopefully the twist ending on this podcast is that somebody boop, 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 boops. And we can get some peace and quiet. In more movie news, Avengers Endgame filmmakers have wrapped filming on the Millie Bobby Brown Netflix movie. So this is directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, and the star of the movie is apparently from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown. I thought they were talking about Whitney Houston's husband. I'm not going to lie to you. The name of the movie is called The Electric State, and this is based off Simon Stalenhag's graphic novel of the same name. It's a sci-fi adventure film coming to Netflix in 2024. The movie also has Chris Pratt, Jason Alexander, Ke Huy Quan, hope I'm saying that correctly, and Stanley Tucci. And then apparently it's going to also have the voices of Anthony Mackie, Giancarlo Esposito, and Billy Bob Thornton. The movie has wrapped filming, and the film was actually originally being directed by The Flash's Anthony Muschietti, but apparently the Russo brothers took the reins of the project once they finished making their other movie, The Gray Man. And the movie is about a teenage runaway and her toy robot. Hopefully this robot is not like Megan, which, by the way, I just saw. Megan, I don't know how that movie got a 94%. I'm sorry, but I thought that movie was so stupid, slow, predictable, and just like such an obvious bad idea to give a kid that robot. Like, oh, your parents just died? Here's a robot to comfort you. That's going to try and kill you and all your friends. Also, I'm so tired of the stereotypical bully in movies. That one kid that tries to like slap Megan, and it's like, ugh. Anyways, Megan, 94%. No way that movie has a 94%. Let me know what you think of Megan. Okay, I need to know. Do you think it deserved a 94%? There's just no way. And speaking of Megan, apparently the internet really wants Megan to be in Toy Story 5, which is very exciting that we're getting a new Toy Story. Toy Story 5, baby. I love the Toy Story movies, and I'm really excited. I hope Tim Allen's not pissed for them not making him the voice of Lightyear, which I didn't love, I didn't hate. It was okay, but hopefully we get Tim Allen back as the voice of Buzz Lightyear. And, you know, I think it would be pretty funny if Megan was in Toy Story 5. Titanic is about to set records. Apparently it's in theaters and re-released, and it's about to set a benchmark. It's going to take the #1 spot, which would make it the first of its kind to hit that benchmark in over 25 years. So I guess there's never been a re-release that's hit #1. People love this freaking movie, Titanic. I mean, it's, you know, it's a good movie. I still think, you know, Rose should have shared that plank of wood with him. I mean, I think we could have found another plank of wood. Okay, I think their body heats, they could have taken turns. I'm just saying. So if you're a fan of Happy Death Day, there's apparently a threequel coming out, a third one, and they're actually talking about mixing that universe with the Freaky Friday universe. So if you're a fan of those movies, you might be getting some cross pollination. I know that's not the right word. There's no flowers involved, but it's going to get freaky on this Friday. All right, speaking of sequels, threequels, Quattros, and beyond, Fast 10 is not the only 10th movie of its franchise coming out. There is a new Saw movie. Saw 10. Jigsaw is back. Or I should say Jigsaw's apprentice is back. I really enjoy the Saw movies, some better than others, but hey, when I see somebody else is waking up with a bear trap chained to their face with 30 seconds to live, I feel a little bit better about having to pay taxes and my rent on time. I'm like, all right, my problems aren't so bad. Wow, okay, more Vin Diesel news. Apparently they are making a new Riddick movie. Riddick 4 will finally be moving forward. This is after 10 years after the last movie was made. So if you're a fan of the Riddick movies, Hollywood's all about sequels, but they'll probably get to number 10 with that too. John Leguizamo is vying to get in the new Spawn movie. He's like, look, even if you don't give me my old rollback where, I'm basically a fat clown, I still want to be in the movie. He's been very critical of Hollywood. He was very critical of James Franco's casting, playing, I believe, a Hispanic character. Might have been Cuban. But that kind of fire and criticism got turned back around on him because he's played roles outside of his race and ethnicity. So, I don't know. Is John Leguizamo going to get in Spawn? It remains to be seen. Maybe he can make that happen and spawn it into reality. So, in an adorable story from lovable Paul Rudd, apparently his 3 or 4-year-old was at a movie theater once with his friends and saw a poster of his dad in the theater. And so him and his little friends, they just assumed that Paul Rudd worked at AMC Lowe's in Santa Monica. And Paul never corrected the little kid. So I guess for years, he just thought his dad worked in a movie theater. And it was like when he was 15 that he put it all together. It's like, oh, my dad's actually a movie star. Imagine that. Your dad, one of the most famous movie stars ever, but you just think all day he's saying, would you like butter with that? By the way, why are the people that work behind the snacks counter, why are they so slow? They know we're trying to get to the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, speed it up there. So there's a lot of rumors going around that Mila Kunis will be playing the Invisible Woman in Fantastic Four. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but apparently she's good friends with Emily Blunt, who is John Krasinski's wife. John Krasinski is going to play one of the main characters. So, we'll see what happens there. If the universe gets Mila Kunis, that could be interesting. But right now it's just rumors and speculation. And to finish up our news about the latest in the world of movies, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is shaping up to be one of the most expensive movies of all time, with a budget exceeding $200 million. Wow. I think we need to know, will Indiana Jones save the day on these investors' pockets? I'm sure everybody's going to see this movie, and I'm sure it's going to make its money back. The trailer was really hilarious, got me very excited about the movie. Guys, that's the latest in updates for this episode of Let's Talk Movies. I think the alarm finally went away when I'm finishing, okay? They're like, oh, he's finishing the podcast? Finally, I'll boop, 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 boop. When I really could have used a boop, 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 boop sooner. They're always late with the boop, 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 boop. Have a good one. Boop, 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 boop.